Welcome to day 14 of the EndoFlex Challenge. We're halfway through, guys. It's pretty exciting. We're going to be asking for your feedback here in the next day or so and see how things are going. It'll be a good time to ask your questions too, because I know by now you probably have a few. I know we've already had a few so far. And it's been really good to hear feedback from you guys, see how everything is going. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen at the end of the month for you guys as you start to see some lasting benefits from EndoFlex. Okay, so today we're going over endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptors are the things that essentially disrupt your hormones. So if you find yourself dealing with hormonal imbalances, it's a number of factors that are causing that, but one of the biggest factors that we don't even realize is actually hiding in our homes. And so we're going to go over that today. We're going to talk about what endocrine disruptors do and where you find them. So what we're going to do is what's called the 3-cabinet challenge. The 3-cabinet challenge is go look in the cabinets in your kitchen, in your bathroom, and in your laundry room. So underneath your sinks, in your showers, by your tubs, in your laundry room, like on the shelf or whatnot, you're going to pull the bottles out of the products that you have. Likely, if you were like me when I first discovered Young Living, I was using the stuff we are always known to use, right? And so you may have, very, very popular brands underneath your cabinets. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull that bottle out and you're going to look on the back and you're going to see what is inside that product. You're going to find some of them won't tell you, which should be concerning. And you're going to find that some of them will tell you some things, but not everything. Then you're going to find a whole bunch of ingredients you can't even pronounce, and that's okay. Go to Google and you're going to type that weird ingredient name in the Google search bar and write dangers at the end. If you don't write dangers, it's just going to pull up the chemical structure of that particular ingredient, and that won't really tell you much. But you want to know, well, what are the benefits? What are the harms? And so if you type dangers, it's going to pull up a lot of research that's been done on that particular ingredient. And if you don't have a lot of if it's a safe ingredient, it's not really going to talk much about the dangers. So you'll know for sure if it's dangerous ingredient or not. Okay, so that's the 3-cabinet challenge. Now, let's get into endocrine disruptors, okay? So in today's world, some of the most dangerous things that affect our health are what we willingly expose ourselves to on the daily. And some of these things may not be what you expect. You are going to be surprised by some of the things that you find when you do the 3-cabinet challenge. You may be completely oblivious to the fact that the products that we use on ourselves and on our children and on our pets and in our homes and in our everyday lives could be the very things that are contributing to why we're sick, why we have health problems, why we struggle emotionally, and why we're not living a life full of wellness, purpose, and abundance. So you guys know that disease doesn't happen overnight, right? It was the daily choices, little by little. A lot of it we didn't know, right? But the good news is reversing that stuff can happen pretty quickly by those little by little, day by day choices in the other direction. Okay, so when you guys look at the ingredients on those products, one of the biggest ingredients you're going to find, the most common ingredient, which isn't even an ingredient at all, is fragrance. Okay, so a lot of us grew up thinking, well, fragrance, well, that's the stuff that smells good, right? Actually, fragrance is not that at all. Fragrance is what we call a catch-all. So let me tell you a little bit about this. 75% of American homes use synthetic or fake air fresheners, plug-ins, and candles. Okay, so the smell good stuff. Many baby products and just about everything else contains fragrance, which is actually a catch-all ingredient. That one name on the label actually contains anywhere up to 300 known toxic chemicals, okay? Known toxic chemicals that are absolutely legal to have in those products. Companies are not required to reveal the actual chemicals that are within the fragrance category, so it's these companies are keeping the public in the dark about the true toxicity of products that we use on ourselves and our babies. Okay, this makes me angry, so I'm going to do my best to stay calm. But how did they get away with this? It's called something like, it's called trade secrets. Okay, and you can find this on the FDA's website. They said, hey, we want to be able to hide some of our recipes from our competitors so that our competitors don't copy what we're doing. And so the FDA said, okay, all right. So they created this catch-all called trade secrets. Now, fragrance, you don't find fragrance on food products. You only find it on cosmetic products, meaning anything that you put on your body or you smell or you clean with, right? That's kind of the category that this falls into. So fragrance is ultimately not what smells good. Fragrance is the stuff they don't want you to know is in their products. And the FDA does not regulate this very highly, okay? Of all these ingredients, of all these known toxins, the US has only made 11 of them illegal, okay? 11, that's it, right? If you go to Europe, it's 1,500, but here it's only 11. And so what we run into is a situation where the FDA is like, we're not really going to pay a lot of attention to this because, we're going to go ahead and, chum it up with big pharma. So you're kind of on your own when it comes to these products. And so that's why it's really, really important that we're here helping our friends, explaining to them we're really on our own here. And what they've been selling us on the store shelves for decades is essentially trash that they didn't want to have to throw out. They figured out how to make money off of it. And so they're putting it in our lotions and our baby powders and our face wash. Anyway, that's what we're running into here. And what we're finding in our research is that this stuff is causing cancer. This stuff is causing hormone imbalance. This stuff is disrupting normal child development. And this stuff makes me mad. And this is why we're here. And this is why we're sharing with other people how to make changes, because no one deserves to have cancer in their 60s because they used baby powder from the time they were little, and now they're dealing with ovarian cancer, and they're doing their best to try and get Johnson & Johnson to fess up to it, and it took decades upon decades upon decades to finally get them to fess up to it, right? It's been proven. Go look in the news. But the reality is, fess up or not, that family's life has been completely thrown for a loop and possibly destroyed because they're fighting cancer, okay? And some of them don't make it. So we're here to stop this, okay? All right, I'm off my soapbox. Let's keep going. Most Americans spend close to 90% of their time indoors in homes filled with an average of 60 hazardous products. What do these products look like, okay? They look like deodorant. They look like bath soap. They look like hand soap. They look like shampoo. They look like face wash and lotion and perfume and dryer sheets and your laundry soap, which is not even a soap, it's a detergent. So every product you use in your home stays in your home for you to breathe in repeatedly. And especially right now when everybody's basically staying home, they're constantly breathing it in. And now with everyone saying that Lysol is king, that's what they're constantly breathing in too. If you've got Lysol in your house, look at the ingredients on that one too. So among the worst of all of this is air fresheners. All right, so let's keep going. So adult and kids shampoos, soaps, and lotions contain an ingredient called phthalates too. That's a really funny word. It's PHTHALATES. That is a toxic chemical banned in children's toys, but can be found in your children's body wash. All right. It is a known endocrine disruptor that is very hard for the body to eliminate. And so your body, when it doesn't know what to do with something, it stores it in your fat cells. Where are your fat cells congregated most? On your hiney and your boobs. Okay. So women, listen up. This stuff, these endocrine disruptors, sit in your breasts. And what is one of the big things that is scaring women today? Breast cancer. Okay, endocrine disruption can lead to breast cancer. A lot of women that are finding themselves with a breast cancer diagnosis are finding it an estrogen-fed cancer. What is an estrogen? Estrogen is a hormone, which normally is healthy in the body. But when the endocrine system has been completely disrupted, well, what happens? Everything's out of whack, right? And so all these bad estrogens, which I'll talk about in a minute, find themselves in your body, disrupting your body's normal hormone function, and then boom, cells start going rogue and you have cancer. Okay. All right. At a minimum, you've got toxins sitting in your fat cells, and that's going to make you a little pudgy because swollen fat cells make you look pudgy. All right. So that is phthalates. Next up, one more thing about phthalates is phthalates can affect normal child development and overall brain function. Because it's so hard to eliminate, the other place that you have a lot of fat is actually in your head. Your brain is like a huge amount of fat. And so where's all this stuff going to go? Up there too. So that's going to affect your brain's ability to function well. And we need to think well, okay? Normal child development. Hormones are the catalyst, right? The things that are so key to children going from a baby to an adult, right? Growth hormone, all sorts of, hormones that bring on puberty, all that stuff. These are affected negatively by these toxins that are in the products that we're washing our bodies with and wearing constantly. Okay, so one of the things, though, it's not like your baby's going to stay a baby and be stunted forever because of endocrine disruption, right? It's really what it's going to do. It's going to impact hormonal imbalance, right? And so the ride to adulthood just going to be harder on children. Puberty sets in earlier. Puberty can be harder. The ups and downs can be more difficult. There can be things that don't develop normally and completely in them as adults. So these are things to really consider paying attention to. I mean, we don't want to gloss over this at all. Okay, so parabens is another ingredient, which are chemical preservatives that are considered estrogenic. So there's something called fake estrogen or xenoestrogen. It's in plastics. So if you're cooking with plastics, it's in the lining of popcorn bags. If you're like doing microwave popcorn, it's in all these like shampoos and cleaners and all this stuff. So parabens, they put that in there so stuff doesn't spoil. But ultimately what it is it's fake estrogen. The problem with fake estrogen, ladies, is you need real estrogen for progesterone to bond. And if you do fake estrogen, if you have fake estrogen, it's going to get in your bloodstream and then it's going to bond to where real estrogen should bond, but progesterone won't have anywhere to hang on. And so then you do not have, so your progesterone is nowhere to go, so it just flushes out of your body. So you're producing progesterone and basically peeing it out. But then what happens is you have what's called estrogen dominance, because estrogen and progesterone need to have a balanced kind of symbiotic relationship in your body. And if progesterone's like being ostracized, it's going to be gone. And then all of a sudden you have all this estrogen. And you guys can look up the consequences of estrogen dominance and see just how much of a problem that is. Okay. Formaldehyde is another ingredient that is not necessarily linked to estrogen or, endocrine disruption. It's just a known cancer causer, and it's in your, anything that has a fake fragrance to it is going to have some form of formaldehyde, and candles and home sprays are like the biggest offenders. So formaldehyde. If you saw formaldehyde on the ingredient list of a product, you would reasonably not purchase that, right? Because that's like embalming fluid. But yet, this is why we have the fragrance category, is so that companies can hide this junk in their products and trick you into buying it. And then you're dealing with the consequences and they'll say, I'm just not sure there's a real link there. But then there's people out there that are just determined fighters. And that's why Johnson & Johnson has had their day in court and faced the consequences of putting known toxins in their products. Okay, Laundry detergents. Laundry detergents have endocrine disruptors in them too. They also have central nervous system disruptors. And you can imagine a lot of your hormones are stimulated by your central nervous system, right? The limbic system in your brain triggers a lot of the hormone releases. And if your central nervous system is not doing its job, well, then your hormones are not getting released at the right times. So you can imagine this is this huge ripple effect that's happening through your whole body, all because of the products we're using. This statistic is actually very disturbing to me, and it's really triggered a lot of change in our home. And that is, women apply on average over 300 chemicals to their face and skin per day, including talc, bismuth, parabens, fake fragrance, lead, mercury, and mineral oil. Y'all, mineral oil is not actually an oil. It is literally the trash left over from making gasoline, and they didn't want to throw it away, so they said, it kind of has this glossy glow look to it. Let's put it in body lotion. And so mineral oil actually disrupts the balance of your skin and the conditioning and everything related to the health of your skin, and has been linked to cancer. Okay, so reality check. All this estrogen we talked about, if you have boys or men in your life, they're basically bathing in estrogen if they're using these products. Men don't need that much estrogen. They don't. They really, really don't. It can affect all sorts of issues for guys. Okay, so another thing I want to talk to you about is greenwashing. So there are companies who've said, oh, you know what? People are really getting behind the whole concept of recycling and being environmentally conscious and starting to pay attention and wanting to buy something that has like some sort of social justice component. Let's like totally bank on that and make some products that have green philosophy behind it, right? Well, you know, they don't really have green philosophy behind it. They are basically greenwashing. They're saying, you know what, because we planted a tree, we can get away with putting this junk in our products. And the real test is if a product will use the term fragrance in their ingredients anywhere, you cannot trust that company, okay, because they're hiding something. It doesn't matter. They'll try to sell you, oh, well, no, all of those ingredients are natural. Just trust us. No, even companies like Mrs. Meyer's, they actually tout themselves as being full disclosure. And actually, in this case, I'm grateful they're full disclosure because I went to their website to see what is in their fragrance ingredient that's on the hand soap. And it's synthetic chemicals that are not good for you. Even Mrs. Meyer's, okay? So you can't just go and say, oh, well, that's a green brand, I can use them. No, you've got to trust the company, and you've got to trust the source, and you've got to trust their transparency and integrity, and trust that they're not putting anything fake inside, because we just don't have time for that. We just don't. We need something that's going to be safe, and we need to be able to buy it without a lot of thought, okay? And that's why Young Living is so valuable, because Young Living has thought through this and said we need to be integrity honest, and we need to be able to let our consumers know exactly what's inside, even at the risk of being copied by cheaters. Okay? So we have amazing products, and we have solutions for how to clean your hair, how to clean your body, how to clean your clothes, how to clean your house, how to make your face beautiful with makeup. They thought through this and said, let's find solutions. And so that's what this 35-year journey has been about, is how to give people healthy solutions without sacrificing convenience, because life's busy. We need to have the ability to go, oh, I can't buy that shampoo, I'll buy this shampoo, instead of, oh, I've got to figure out how to make shampoo. No, Young Living solves that problem for us, because I don't have time to make shampoo. Okay, another thing I wanted to tell you guys is, if this is the first time you're hearing this and you're having that moment of, oh my goodness, I put that Johnson & Johnson baby lotion on my babies their whole life. What have I done to my kids? I want you to stop and give yourself a moment of grace, okay? Because I'll try not to cry. That was me. When all of this came to a head and I realized exactly what I had done, I had the biggest mom guilt. I was like, what did I do to my children? And we've suffered. We've suffered the consequences of those choices. And it's been hard because as we're having to face the realities of endocrine disruption and emotional stuff and various other allergens and allergies that we've had to face, the mom guilt tries to hit hard. And I tell you, just give yourself grace and know you did the best you could with what you knew. And now you know better. And the good news is, as gatekeeper of your home, you've got choices. You have choices. We didn't have good choices 15 and 20 years ago. We had, I didn't know Young Living even existed 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. And if I had, I would have gotten in here sooner, because this community and this company's philosophy is transparency, integrity, and giving us the best, because the whole point is wellness, purpose, and abundance. So give yourself grace. Recognize that today you draw a line in the sand, clean slate, start over, and start making changes. Switch out your laundry soap, switch out your face wash, switch out your toothpaste. Just do it month by month, little by little. That's the benefit of Essential Rewards. You can do it little by little, and you're earning cash back every single month. You're getting free products every single month. Before long, we're gonna have free shipping. So there's so many benefits to making these changes slowly based on your budget, or right away. It's up to you. We have so many options to solve that problem of what do I do now. Another thing that's super important, I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention this again, is that your friends and your family need to know. They need to know this is a problem, and they need to know that there's an actual, easy, convenient way to make the changes. And so that's why this group is here. So if you know someone that needs to hear this message, and so invite them into this group and let them hear this message, because this is so important. This group is open to anyone who has not yet embraced Young Living and joined as a member, or anyone within our immediate community that is already a member. So thank you guys for listening. I know I let this go a little long, but I know that every single bit of this was important and you needed to hear it. After you watch this, comment below if you have any questions. Comment below with your big takeaways. Did you learn something new? Did you benefit from this class? And let me know how it went. And feel free to share it with others that need to hear it. Y'all take care. Thanks.